BMW built its reputation on thrilling performance and precise handling. But what happens when that legacy goes electric? The new BMW iX3 promises to blend classic BMW driving DNA with silent, zero-emission power. It looks familiar, but under the hood, this SUV could mark the biggest shift in BMW's history. Is this the moment BMW finally catches up to Tesla and Mercedes in the EV race? Or is the iX3 just another luxury crossover with a battery? Stick around because the answer might surprise you. The BMW iX3 might look like any other BMW X3 at first glance. Sharp lines, signature kidney grille, and that familiar luxury SUV stance. But this one's different. This is BMW's all-electric take on one of its most successful models, and it's meant to show how the brand plans to balance performance with sustainability in the years ahead. For context, BMW has been slower than some rivals in going all in on electric. Tesla and Mercedes have already pushed deep into the EV game, but the iX3 is BMW's attempt to prove that electric can still feel like BMW. It's built on the same platform as the regular X3, but it replaces the gas engine with a single electric motor and a big battery pack, all while trying to keep that signature rear-wheel drive feel alive. This SUV is aimed at buyers who want a premium EV without going full futuristic or giving up driving comfort. It's familiar yet forward-looking, a bridge between BMW's powerful past and its electric future. But does that strategy actually work? Does the iX3 deliver the driving excitement BMW fans expect? Or does it play things too safe to compete in the rapidly growing EV market? In a moment, we'll break down its design, performance, and features to see if the iX3 really earns its place as BMW's electric milestone. Let's start with the design, because BMW didn't reinvent the wheel here, but it did fine-tune it. The iX3 carries that familiar BMW SUV shape, muscular, confident, and instantly recognizable. The blue accents around the grille, badges, and diffuser are subtle hints that this isn't your average X3. It's clean, elegant, and avoids the overly futuristic styling we see in some EVs. It's almost as if BMW wanted to say, electric can still look classic. Step inside, and the cabin tells the same story. Traditional BMW luxury, just smarter. You're greeted with soft leather seats, a sharp digital display, and BMW's iDrive system, which remains one of the most intuitive infotainment setups out there. The layout feels familiar, but under the surface it's filled with modern touches, like connected navigation that factors in charging stations and an upgraded voice assistant that can actually hold a decent conversation. Now, performance. This is where the iX3 surprises people. It packs a rear-mounted electric motor producing around 282 horsepower and 295 lb-ft of torque. That's enough for a 0 to 60 time of roughly 6.5 seconds. Not mind-blowing, but brisk for a single-motor SUV. The real story, though, is how it drives. Thanks to the low-mounted battery and near-perfect weight balance, it feels planted and agile. The steering is precise, the ride is smooth, and it manages to carry that BMW feel, even without a roaring inline-six under the hood. Range is respectable too. The iX3 can deliver up to about 285 miles on a full charge, depending on driving style and conditions. Fast charging gets you from 10 to 80% in around 30 minutes, with a DC fast charger which makes road trips possible without too much hassle. Where things get interesting is efficiency. BMW's engineers tuned the iX3 to prioritize balance over brute force, which means you'll get solid real-world range without sacrificing comfort. But it's worth noting that this SUV isn't chasing Tesla's acceleration numbers, it's chasing refinement. Safety and tech are equally solid. You get adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist, blind spot monitoring, and BMW's latest driver assistance suite that can even take over limited driving tasks in traffic jams. Add to that wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and a Harman Kardon sound system, and it starts feeling like a proper luxury EV package. However, not everything shines. There's no all-wheel drive option yet, a big miss for buyers in colder regions or those who expect more traction. And while the cabin feels premium, some rivals like the Mercedes EQC and Audi Q8 e-tron offer flashier interiors and dual-motor setups for a similar price. Still, the iX3 has a charm of its own. It's understated, confident, and refreshingly focused on being a driver's EV rather than a tech showcase. But here's the real question. Does that simplicity make it stand out or hold it back in today's hyper-competitive EV market? Let's dig into what the iX3 truly gets right, and where it still falls short. So, after spending time behind the wheel, here's where things get interesting. The moment you press the accelerator, the iX3 doesn't try to pin you to the seat like a Tesla. It delivers its power with precision, almost like it's thinking 2 steps ahead of you. There's an instant surge of torque, yes, but it's smooth, controlled, and balanced. You start to realize this isn't an EV trying to impress you with numbers. It's one built to feel right. Take it through a few corners and the difference becomes clear. The steering is beautifully weighted, the chassis feels tight, and the suspension absorbs bumps like a pro. It's calm, composed, and yet there's that signature BMW confidence that keeps you engaged. You forget you're driving an electric SUV, it just feels like a BMW should. But then reality sets in. Push it harder and you notice the limitations of having just one motor at the rear. It's not sluggish, but it doesn't have the punch or all-weather traction that some dual-motor rivals boast. The silence inside the cabin, though, is stunning. You hear almost nothing but the faint hum of the electric motor. It's strangely satisfying, like luxury redefined in a new language. On highways, it's effortless, stable, quiet, and efficient. In the city, the Regan braking is tuned so naturally that it feels seamless, not jerky or forced. Everything about the iX3 feels deliberate, designed to make electric driving as natural as possible. And here's the twist. The iX3 doesn't need to shock you to impress you. It doesn't shout innovation. It whispers refinement. It's not about showing off. It's about proving that BMW can evolve without losing its soul. So, has BMW finally cracked the EV formula? Or has it played things too safe while others push boundaries? Let's break down exactly what the iX3 gets spectacularly right, and where it still holds back. So, after everything, how does the BMW iX3 really stack up? In simple terms, it's not here to revolutionize electric driving. It's here to refine it. The iX3 takes everything BMW has learned about building smooth, balanced, and premium SUVs and quietly translates that experience into the EV world. Let's start with the highlights. The build quality feels exceptional. The ride is smooth, composed, and confident. The cabin strikes the perfect balance between comfort and familiarity. No over-designed dashboards or flashy gimmicks, just high-end materials and intuitive tech. And perhaps the most impressive part? It still feels like a BMW to drive. Poised, controlled, and satisfying, even without the engine growl. But there are trade-offs. The single-motor setup limits power and traction, especially compared to dual-motor competitors like the Audi Q8 e-tron or Tesla Model Y. It's also not the most exciting EV on the market. More executive calm than thrilling innovation. And in the US market, where performance and range numbers dominate headlines, that might hold it back from mass appeal. Still, for the right buyer, but someone who values refinement over flash, who wants an EV that feels familiar but forward-thinking, the iX3 makes perfect sense. It's the ideal transition vehicle for loyal BMW drivers curious about going electric without completely changing their driving identity. In a way, the iX3 isn't trying to be the future, it's laying the foundation for it. It's BMW proving that electrification doesn't have to erase character. So, what do you think? Has BMW done enough with the iX3 to win over EV skeptics, or does it still have a way to go before matching the electric heavyweights? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear if this version of BMW's future works for you. If you enjoyed this review, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more in-depth car breakdowns, and ring the bell so you don't miss what's coming next.